I just wanted to apologise for the lateness of this podcast. Obviously, we aim to get it up every single Wednesday, but I know it's out on Friday this week. I would like to apologise for that. Personal things go on, everything goes on, but we are here with the Town Nation podcast for this week, and we will resume to normal services next week. Alright guys, Town Nation back here with the Town Nation podcast. This podcast is partnered with SLTD Wrestling. And today, as always, we've got our co-host, my very good friend, Tyler Keller. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, and today is more than a glorious day. I got my first solo victory on Fortnite.
Who wouldn't want to celebrate that? And do you know which day you got it on? Do you know which day you got your first Fortnite solo victory on?
Rusev Day.
That is right. Happy Rusev Day, everyone. It's great to be here with the podcast. And we have a couple of topics to talk about. We're not going to lie to you. But we're going to kick it off with the big red machine known as Kane. So 2 weeks ago, Kane returned out of nowhere. Totally unexpected. Came down, beat the bludgeon-brothers up, and ended up teaming with Daniel Bryan, which means Team Hell No is back in business for the first time in 5 years. And at Extreme Rules, they are versing the bludgeon-brothers for the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships. First off, talk me through what you were thinking when Kane returned. He was attacking the bludgeon-brothers. Daniel Bryan was in the ring. I loved the look on Daniel Bryan's face. What was going through your head at that moment?
Oh no.
Why would you think of that? Did you like the original run, or?
It is 2018. As much as I love Kane back in the past, not like too long ago, I love Kane and everything. Taker, I respect what he's done. I like him too. But these are sometimes two people that do not need to be on television. They are their age. They don't have to do this anymore. Kane.
What? What if they want to, though? In my opinion,
this got to be his last run. This has got to be his last run.
I was about to say that, and I feel the same way with The Undertaker as well. I think he's active, The Undertaker, at the moment, as he is, because he knows this is his last shot. While he's feeling good after the surgery, he knows this is his last year, his last run. So why not? And the same with Kane. He's probably thinking, you know what, let's go out together. Let's retire together. It's the best way to do it. And he's probably thinking, I'm going to return for one last run. I'm just going to enjoy myself. Let's do it with Bryan. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's have the time of my life while being the demon,
I agree.
It's an interesting predicament, but one thing I don't like about WWE is when they give championship opportunities to someone who hasn't earned it. And when Kane came out, attacked him, they got a shot. And my thinking process was, what have they done to earn that championship opportunity? They've literally just got back together for the first time in 5 years and they're already getting a shot.
I see it as them thinking that they have just messed up the Bludgeon Brothers run a little bit, and they're like, let's try to put a red hot and coming back Daniel Bryan in there. So they're like, oh, wait a minute. When Bludgeon Brothers look good against them, they're like, oh, okay. But most people know them as a tag team are good. WWE just, it's their booking decisions. You know, they're creative. I wouldn't even call them creative anymore, but I think they're in this title match to try to get some Bludgeon Brothers, you know, over a little bit more. Even though I feel like they are over more than most tag teams anyways. I don't know. I think that's why they're in it, and I don't want to do an early prediction, but it looks like they might go on the route of new tag team champions just because they want to do one more run with Bray and Kane for a little bit.
I mean, it was fun to see them this past Tuesday on SmackDown arguing and everything. It just brought back so many flashbacks. It was quite a fun thing to do.
I have not watched it yet because I've been doing some stuff, but I don't know. I don't think we need to see them as a tag team again. Daniel Bryan, I know it's because of his damn contract, but he should not even be in a tag team title picture. We know where he should be.
WWE, of course. I mean, talking about Daniel Bryan and Kane, have you seen Raw this past week?
I didn't even watch that much of it. No. I stand corrected. I was more focused on the Atlanta Braves and New York Yankees game than Raw, but I watched Raw when the game wasn't on, so I went back and forth. But yeah, I don't know. Raw for me, I don't know what it is, but like they say, if you don't like it, don't watch all of it. You know, don't watch it at all. Well, I do watch some pieces of it, but I don't find myself wanting to be like, I want to watch Raw. I don't know. I just have that mentality nowadays.
No,
it's. I don't ever want to say that about WWE show. I really don't. And I actually want to watch SmackDown, but I just did not get the opportunity. I always DVR it. With Raw, I don't even DVR it.
That's how I feel nowadays. You know, SmackDown is killing Raw. It really, really is. And Raw, if you want to call them creative, is doing terribly at the moment. But what I was going to say is, talking about Kane and Bryan, if you haven't seen, Dr. Shelby's back!
I saw that. And that will be the end of what I think about it.
That explains everything.
Okay. I'm going. Okay, this is one of my things. Like, I might get into it big time. Sasha Banks, Bayley. Okay, cool. They want to have them do this. First of all, we know it's going to break down and they're going to have a fight at SummerSlam, most likely.
Yeah.
It might be. It definitely might be a top 2 match on the card with whatever is the card. Honestly. But a lot of people are not going to care about it because they got fucking Dr. Shelby in a damn promo and storyline where Sasha Banks and Bayley's doing this stupid stuff that it ain't going to work for. Yes, it worked for Daniel Bryan and Kane. It made sense a little bit more than Sasha and Bayley. I'm sorry, but Sasha and Bayley, they need to open their little brains up, the writers and Vince-McMahon, and realize they've got a top 2 talent women right in front of them, and let them talk about what they want to do with the storyline, because we know they're best friends, you know, outside of wrestling, really. Like, we know they're really good friends. it comes off on TV when they were, buddy and everything. You don't just fake that. They know how to do a creative story and everything. Watch what they did in NXT.
I was about to say that. If you look at the NXT product and what Triple H has done with Sasha and Bayley, Gargano and Ciampa as well, that's another instance. They were best friends outside. Look at what that's turned into and escalated into. It makes it feel so much more real in NXT compared to what they're doing with this Dr. Shelby stuff. As much as I'm not going to lie, I shouted at the top of my voice when I saw Dr. Shelby. Then I was like, why are they doing this? What's happening? They need a... If Triple H was in charge, he'd know exactly what to do in this position. He's proven it down in NXT with Sasha and Bayley. He's proven it with Gargano and Ciampa. But right here on Raw, Vince McMahon is in charge, and this feud could be in trouble, I'm not gonna lie.
I gotta do a shout out because I've got to watch the matches, and I might very well just watch it from now on. But my lord, has Triple H changed around 205 Live, from what I hear.
I haven't seen much of it because I just feel so tired after SmackDown. It's like 3 a.m. over here, so I'm like so tired. But from what I've heard, he has truly transformed the brand, and you've got to give him props. But look at what he's done with 205 Live. Look at what he's done with NXT. Once that guy takes over the main roster, we'll be in a good place. But until then, I'm sorry, Vince. I respect you, but you're fucking it up, man.
we talk about it a lot. We know when Triple H takes over, it's going to be way, way better. And he gets his people in there and not Vince's people. A.K.A. Kevin Dunn. When, Vince is done, you don't fucking have a job. Get on the streets. That's what we're trying to say.
Basically,
I mean, look. This is what I'm trying to, 205 Live, okay. I wanted to get behind the show. And I still don't agree with them doing it after SmackDown. But the way they're doing it, it sounds so good. And, I have got to go out and actually watch it. I might not watch it right after SmackDown, but I will watch it throughout the week. Because, the way they talk about how good... They said Cedric Alexander and Buddy Murphy, what could have been a match of the year. And they said match of the year. I heard a lot of people say it. And what they're talking about, Mustafa Ali and... who is it? I think it might have been Buddy Murphy also. But those two matches, a lot of people said you have to go out and watch, and I plan on doing it. It's amazing to see when you have a great creative mind that knows what he's doing and everything. It's amazing just to see what happens.
It is, and Triple H has that. He's proved it in NXT. He's transformed 205 Live. Hopefully, with the XFL coming around, that could mean Vince's focus transforms to that. That's what I'm hoping. It probably won't, but that's what I'm hoping for, so Triple H gets more of a role backstage, because he needs it right now. Triple H needs to take over the main roster to revitalise it. Triple H needs his people in there to make me feel excited about a Raw. At the moment I'm like, yippee, Raw is on. Whereas if Triple H was in charge, I know I'd be like, here we go, it's time for Raw. This is gonna be great. And that's how I feel with NXT every week. When I watch NXT, I am really excited to see it, because not only the talent down there, but you know you are going to get some absolutely top-notch storytelling. And we need that on the main roster. Yes.
And I've got to watch the last two NXTs. And I plan on doing that probably here soon, too. Because I was like, look, I'm going to go through and watch NXT. I've got to watch 205 Live. I've actually got to go out and watch those because what it sounds like, how they're doing stuff, it's amazing.
I mean, I don't watch 205 Live, but I'd love to, and I know I have time to. Sometimes I just want to chill out and not, but with NXT, I make sure it's on at like 1 a.m. or should I say 8 p.m. every single week. So,
Indeed.
What he's doing there is truly revolutionary, to be honest. But we will see what the future holds for NXT 205 Live and the main roster. But we're gonna take a break now from WWE topics just for a little bit, and I'm gonna hand it over to Tyler to talk about LeBron James becoming a free agent and much more NBA content. So go for it.
Any NBA fan, and if you hear anything, that it's a hammer. I don't know what they're doing downstairs of my mom or dad, but LeBron James, biggest free agent. Like it's sad. It was sad. The Warriors won the championship, and everyone after was talking about, oh, where's LeBron go? They didn't care that the Warriors won the damn championship, if that says anything. And I have a good amount of LA fans, around the area, and, in the group message, close by, that lives close by and everything. And big Lakers fans. And I was like, you guys are getting Paul George or LeBron James. And I thought they were going to get Paul George. And Paul George automatically signed with the Thunder after midnight when the free agency started. And that's the part that surprised me. I thought Paul George was legit going to LA, no doubt. And he didn't. He stayed at OKC, which I don't know about that move, but I guess he likes playing with Russell Westbrook and probably not Melo because Melo is washed up. But LeBron going to LA, man. I tell you this, I am happy for the Lakers because they are going back to the playoffs no matter what anybody says now. When you got LeBron James on your team, you have a chance to win games. LeBron is just that good. And with the core they've got, I'm back from injury. I don't know if he's going to stay there because they're talking about a trade with Kawhi Leonard or Damian Lillard, maybe, Portland. So, you got Ingram, you got Kuzma. Unfortunately, they lost Julius Randle. Julius Randle would be in a big piece to stay. But they got good weapons. And the last thing I want to talk about, my Mavericks, they got Delonte Jordan finally after 2015 hiatus of that BS. If you're a Dallas Mavericks fan, trust me, you went through it. He got hostage from Chris Paul and Blake Griffin to come back just for Chris Paul to get traded the next year and Blake Griffin to get traded also. So I bet he's happy he got paid, and I'm thankful for the. I mean, Dallas looks like a good young team, and Dirk Nowitzki, my favorite player from Germany, and he's always been my idol when playing. So I idol after him, and they got a good young core there. I mean, I don't think they can make the playoffs, maybe, but they got a good future there, and Dirk's got one more year, so I can't. Oh boy, I ain't gonna lie. It's just like, say it's just what for Haydn, it's like the Undertaker, like doing that retirement thing for WrestleMania 33. Dirk Nowitzki is going to be my taker. Like I'm going to be bawling after his last game with tears.
I was gonna say I was crying my heart out when Taker did that. So, but he's back. So you don't know what could happen.
But that's all the NBA stuff. There's more. There's a whole lot of free agency stuff, but that's just the ones I wanted to cover up a little bit.
And I'm sure on next week's episode of the podcast, it will be covered a little bit more. It depends what happens over the next week or two. So we'll see. And so I would just like to apologise for any background noise, as well as Tyler said during that. Things go on in households, and yeah. So up next, we're going to talk about Andrade Cien Almas and his run on the main roster. So, in my opinion, he should have been used so much more, but they're trying to build up this feud with Sin Cara, which is mind-boggling for a talent like Andrade Cien Almas. We both know his talent. We said in a former episode of the Tarnation podcast, actually, about his NXT run and how fun that was, and he's very, very talented, and when he does go up to the main roster, we know he's going to be a big money player, but he's not playing off as that so far. And there has been a news roundup basically today from all the news sites going on about how Andrade Cien Almas would have been in Shinsuke Nakamura's position right now. But Nakamura lost to AJ at, when was the last pay-per-view? Money in the Bank. And then they basically put Nakamura in Andrade Cien Almas' position for the US Championship against Jeff Hardy, sort of as a compensation type deal, because he didn't win the WWE Championship, which does mean Shinsuke Nakamura will win the US Championship, which, in my opinion, he should have already won the WWE Championship, but it is what it is. It is in the past now, and at least he's getting a championship. And this is what I said, I think it was on the last episode of the Tarnation podcast, actually, that Shinsuke Nakamura needed to win this US Championship feud. He needed to win it to revitalise his career, because it has been pretty darn awful so far on the main roster for him. But he needed a championship ever since the heel turn. He should have won, really, the WWE Championship, but he hasn't, and again, it's in the past, it is what it is. But this does mean if Nakamura does win, we finally get heel Nakamura as US Champion. But having Andrade Cien Almas in that position would have been amazing, because trust me, I'm a big Almas fan. What do you make of Andrade Cien Almas supposed to be in Shinsuke Nakamura's position? What do you think about Nakamura winning the US title? Just vent your thoughts.
I think we both agree that he should have won the WWE Championship, and I've said this, and I'll go back and say it again just quickly. He should beat Mahal for it. It should have been the different way around. AJ should run the Rumble. Styles could win the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. Nakamura still with the heel turn. They could have done their storyline. And Nakamura can be like in a mid-card feud after that. Andre should have been in his position and should have beaten Jeff Hardy for the United States Championship. That is a quick thoughts for what should have happened and what I think about it. And they booked Andre Cien Almas so bad, and I hope they are not waiting for Sin Cara to come back from a little injury he's got. I hope not, just because of that. And, it's... The thing is, Vince McMahon actually likes Andre Cien Almas. Big time, from what I hear.
He wanted a foreign champion, but in the same means Shinsuke Nakamura's foreign. He's from Japan. Andrade, as we all know, he's foreign as well. But, in my opinion, having Andrade in that position would have been a fantastic start to his main roster run. That's how it should have been. Andrade is on that level already. He doesn't need experience against the likes of Sin Cara. He's already in that position. He already is that talented. He should be the one in that position where Nakamura is. And as you said, Nakamura should have won the WWE Championship over a year ago from Mahal. This is Vince McMahon for you.
And I don't know how much pull or how much Vince has with SmackDown all the way. Back then. With now, you can tell he doesn't have much of it because it's a complete different show.
That's what makes me think that Triple H has sort of got a bigger role on the SmackDown side, because he'll be backstage for 205 Live. He might put some input in on the SmackDown show as well.
I hope that's the case, because I can tell a difference.
Exactly, it's already revitalized SmackDown. In a way, it's killing Raw. It's killing Raw.
Nakamura and Daniel Bryan's contract's coming up, so maybe they're doing this for Nakamura. For Daniel Bryan, I don't know. I mean, he's not going to say no to Kane, but still, I'm sure he wants to be in the bigger picture. So I don't know. WWE, maybe they know Nakamura's going to re-sign, so they're trying to give him the United States Championship, but they don't know about Daniel Bryan, and that's why Daniel Bryan is in that case right now. I don't know.
I mean, do you think Daniel Bryan will re-sign?
I think he wants to. I think he absolutely wants to. But WWE, Vince McMahon, especially Vince knows if they do not actually re-sign him and give him what he wants, Daniel Bryan has more of a pull than Vince McMahon does in this situation. So far. And you never thought, you could say that. If he's not re-signed to WWE, Omega, the Bucks, all of them people, New Japan, Ring of Honor, they see that, and they want to go to WWE. I know Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks eventually want to go to WWE. They see Daniel Bryan out, I guarantee you Kenny Omega's like, New Japan, give me the money. And I'll stay a little bit longer just to have a match with Daniel Bryan or two. Because if Daniel Bryan goes to Ring of Honor, New Japan, etc., wherever, WWE has fucked up too bad.
They need to re-sign him. They need to re-sign him because at the end of the day, Bryan... How do I describe it?
Bryan is the biggest face, and I mean the biggest face you have ever seen since the Stone Cold Rock and Attitude Era. I don't really care what anybody says.
But
he has
Vince
been the biggest face.
Vince knows that. But if Bryan demands something and Vince don't give it, I know Bryan will be out. Bryan will be out that door. Vince needs to act smartly in this position. Vince needs to give Daniel Bryan what Bryan wants for him to re-sign. Because for WWE,
with WWE, go ahead.
Because for WWE to have a cop like Daniel Bryan, they need him. They need him. And if he goes elsewhere, I bet you the viewership will fall drastically. I'm telling you. And people will go to wherever he goes, whether it's Ring of Honor, New Japan Pro Wrestling, anywhere. These people will go to their companies just because Daniel Bryan's gone there and think, Bryan ain't at WWE anymore. What are we doing? He is that sort of a face. He is so over with everyone in the wrestling community. Vince needs to act smartly in this position, and Vince needs to re-sign him no matter what it takes. Because Vince needs to think that it's worth the money, and we all know it would be worth the money. It would be worth what Bryan asked for. If Bryan asks for a WWE Championship run, you give him that run, because he will be the biggest champion in WWE. He is so over, he is talented in the ring, so if he wants a run, you give him a championship run. You sign him no matter what it takes.
And that's what I think too, like big time. Like, just how I say this. Daniel Bryan, like you said, will bring in so much. Like, look, I don't watch New Japan. I know it has a lot of good stuff. I try to go out and watch Ring of Honor. It's just a timing part for me. Now, I'll say this. If he does go to Ring of Honor or New Japan, you can see me watching more of that. because Daniel Bryan has that effect on me. And I know that's going to be a lot affecting on a lot of people around the world also. So that's just how big he is. WWE just got to be smart. Vince, his ego cannot take over right here. His ego got to be like, damn, Daniel Bryan is our top face, realistically. He knows it ain't Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns needs to have that heel turn. He needs to, I like Roman, but he needs to grow a pair and be like, hey, Vince, hey, let's turn me heel. My merchandise is still going to be selling good because all those fans are booing him, are going to be booing him, and most of them are going to be cheering for him because he's heel now. So, that's one thing that hits me. If Roman has so much, and I know I'm going off topic a little bit, but if Roman is so, Vince is so on to Roman and everything, and sees so much into him. He's a great wrestler, yes, but the way they're creative is awful. They're awful in most parts, but at this point, they're awful big time. If he has so much, pull there, he could have. Roman should say something to Vince and be like, look, turn me heel. I don't know if Roman's tried to do that because there hasn't been reports of that, but he needs to.
It's a case of, does Reigns want to turn heel as well? Would he grow a pair and ask Vince McMahon? Would he?
I think he would want to be heel. I don't think he gives a. I don't think he. He knows he's getting money and getting all this push and all that merchandise, all that. But I honestly think he would be open so much to a heel turn. But I don't know if he said anything to Vince or anybody back there. That's the thing.
I mean, there's been no reports of it, as you say, so I can't see it, but it's a tough ask going to Vince McMahon and saying, look, turn me heel.
I could definitely see it in the future.
Oh, I could. I wouldn't blame him.
Him saying something about it.
I wouldn't blame him. So, we're going to combine two topics into one here, but our last topic is about Saturday Night Main Event and NXT. So recently there has been rumours about Saturday Night Main Event returning. It would be WWE Network exclusive. It would be it wouldn't be a weekly show. It would be like a special show. From what I'm hearing, it would be like bi-monthly, so every 2 months just before a pay-per-view. So if you look at it in that perspective, it's basically before the biggest pay-per-views, because it'd be like Rumble, Mania, Money in the Bank, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, back to the Rumble. So it's like before the Big Five, from what I'm hearing. And there's been rumours of that returning. Now with SmackDown moving to Fridays in 2019, if they go ahead with this Saturday Night Main Event, that will mean Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday on pay-per-view weekends. What do you make of Saturday Night Main Event returning? Do you see it being a flop? Do you see it being a success? Do you think it's a good idea, bad idea, especially when SmackDown's moving to Fridays? It's going to be a 3-day weekend for them. What's your thoughts on it?
I mean, it could be something that worked out. Now, I've heard rumors that they could bring this to Fox and not the network.
I'm going to go on to that in a minute.
Oh, well, okay, well, is that the same thing with the NXT part?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to just combine it right here because it makes sense, because that's where I was going to go. They've also talked about NXT being on Fox Sports South 1, which is, it's really honestly, you know how ESPN has ESPN and ESPN2? It's basically ESPN2 for Fox. And they're thinking about bringing, NXT to Fox, honestly.
Do you think that'd be the
Honestly,
right move? Because I've liked the WWE Network exclusivity. I sign up to the network every single month because of NXT. It keeps me intrigued. If NXT goes to, say, FS1 or Fox or wherever it's going to go, I don't know how American channels work, but yes, I do watch it on American channels. But say if it goes to FS1, I don't know how I'd feel. Would I pay for the network? Would I pay a tenner a month? NXT is what keeps me paying the most.
I mean, for me, I would definitely keep on paying because for me, I watch the older stuff when I can, and that's like a joy. I mean, I just got done. I'm about to get done watching WrestleMania 17. And that's the order I'm in right now. So I'm in that part of it. You got the WWE 24s. I still got to watch the Hardys one, and I know that's good.
Oh, that's the best one they have done yet. Jesus. I'm not going to lie.
There's probably other stuff I've got to watch also.
I'm not going to lie, that WWE 24 had me in tears. That's how deep it got.
It probably will with me.
That is the... Forget pay-per-views, forget NXT. For me, WWE 24 is the best thing on the network. Without a doubt. I love seeing behind the scenes. I love the documentary type style. I'm looking forward to the Ronda Rousey one. That's coming up as well. I'm looking forward to seeing that one.
Same here. And, you got all of that, other shows... And then you got the pay-per-views, and then the NXT pay-per-views. Honestly, I don't see myself ever being like, you know what, I ain't gonna watch the network.
I wouldn't, but I think people buy the network if they don't like to reflect back on it. I know a few people that will buy the network just to watch NXT. I don't get why, because there's like 10,000 hours on demand, but...
Yeah, I don't know why either, because there's so much stuff to watch. It's unreal. But, I get some people's logic of watching their big time with NXT. I mean, I don't know. I think I would just keep it on the network for now, but you could try an NXT special live on Fox Sports 1 and try that out and see how it works. So...
And that is a beautiful transition, thank you for that. Because talking about the NXT specials, there has also been rumours that will move to 7 PM Eastern instead of 8 PM Eastern, which allows for more overtime. Now, they're not going to do the show for an hour longer by the sounds of it. It just allows for more overtime, say the Gargano Ciampa. It allows for more overtime to be had. And that's the rumours that have gone around at the moment. So the pay-per-views would still be scheduled for 2.5 hours. But we know what NXT is like. It will probably go on for 3 hours. So, would you be happy with a 7 PM start?
Yes, because they get more time. They can have more time. We'd like, it used to be 2 hours. They moved to 2.5. We're like, oh yeah, 3 hours. I think all of us would be glad if it was 3 hours. And that's only because it's just NXT. And we'll be glad because, if it's 3 hours, like I said, it's NXT and everything. So,
I think they schedule it for 2.5 hours. But the last 4, I think ever since War Games, have always gone for 3 hours anyway. They always do overtime, and I think that's why they are planning on moving it back to 7 PM Eastern. So it allows for it to be lengthened out a little bit more without going overboard on time and everything.
Yeah, I'm glad you're moving it to 7, honestly. I think that's a good move.
Oh, certainly. I'm a big fan of it. So, anything else before we end? Because that was the last topic we wrote down, so... We
can talk about one thing quick. Bray Wyatt. the accident.
Oh yes, I
That's
forgot about that one. I forgot about
that's
that.
Very crazy, man.
You'll read into it because I've just seen the title. If you've read an article, then you can go ahead with it.
Yeah, I'll talk about it a little bit. He did a head-on-head collision. He got released from the hospital, I think Friday, that same day and night. But they said he's got multiple injuries, which I actually don't know. I don't think it's came out with multiple injuries, but I'm sure it's probably whiplash, something around his neck, maybe chest, arms, something around there. But TMZ caught up with him. I think it was maybe a day or so after, and he said, and the way he said, he's like what, I forget what they asked him, but his response was, "I will never die." Like, he did a character response, and I find it so funny. I'm like that is something Bray Wyatt would do, because you could really see Bray Wyatt. You see him out in public, you could probably see him being character for
I've got a funny story for you, actually. So, I actually met Bray Wyatt once. I was waiting outside the hotel. He pulled up in this massive car, blacked out windows and everything. He stepped out. He literally said, in character, "I can only sign a few of my Fireflies autographs." So he was going around signing. He cut a promo before he went into the hotel, and it went something. It was about 3 years ago now, and it went something like, "Now Bray Wyatt must go and get ready to be." I can't remember the last word he said, but "I look forward to seeing all of you Fireflies at the arena." And he proper did it in character. It was crazy. And I think that's how he acts in public, and that is living in the gimmick, and that is what I love to see.
Boy, I don't know how he does it, but and this is why we say he could easily be world champion again. In his first run as world champion, boy, they effed that up so much, man.
They did, but what do you make of the partnership of Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt?
I like it, but it's like they haven't really had them do something, big. I don't know. I just don't like. For some reason, I don't like what they've been doing with the tag teams here recently. It just. They've disappointed me with tag teams.
There has been rumours of Vince McMahon not liking tag team wrestling. So could that be the reason?
It might be, I don't know.
I don't get why, because in my opinion, tag team wrestling is some of the best wrestling you will see every single week. I really enjoy tag team wrestling. It brings a different ball game, a different environment to the wrestling show, whether it is Raw, SmackDown, New Japan, Ring of Honor. Tag teams bring a different vibe to it almost. It's different from your one-on-one contest.
Most definitely.
So I don't get why he doesn't enjoy tag team wrestling, especially when you've got some of the best talents. They could go with Matt and Bray. I will admit, I love that partnership. I think they could just go overboard, not overboard, but push it up a little bit more to let them sort of take over in the creative direction, because if they take over, Bray's proved himself in the Wyatt family. We know what Matt Hardy can do from his TNA run. Putting them two together and letting them do the creative direction could be a freaking fun thing to do. And then you've got talent like, the Revival. They should have been tag team champions by now. P-Team's quite funny, I'm not going to lie. But I don't know what it is. I feel like they could do more with Matt and Bray, but I love the partnership. And I look at the products, I listen to JD quite a lot. And I don't like... And it's not just JD, it's a lot of people. I've seen it on YouTube, on Twitter. the fans that complain at WWE for absolutely anything, but don't look at the product and enjoy it for what it is. Yes, you can call them out. Yes, there's some things I don't like. Yes, I'll bring it up. But when you actually bash absolutely everything they do, and I've seen it a lot on Twitter, a hell of a lot on Twitter, and you don't look at the product for what it is and you enjoy it for that, that's the kind of people that I'm like, I'm not too sure on them. I look at the products now and think, right, what's enjoyable? Let's enjoy it.
Right.
Like, I get calling them out, I get not liking the products, but you can't bash them for absolutely every little thing that they do. Because there is some parts of the product that is good. But they don't tweet about that. And it's not just like one account, it is a lot of them. I see it all over my timeline, every Raw, every SmackDown. There's even a few in NXT, and I block some of them.
I mean, I feel you with that. You know, it just, I don't know. I just wish they got better with the tag team wrestling on the main roster. They were SmackDown was doing good because they had the Usos and New Day going at it, and they were fantastic against each other. But after that, they had a dominating Bludgeon-brothers, and I don't know, their run feels like they've went a little flat. Even though I love them, but it just feels like it's went flat a little bit.
How would you change their run then? What would you do to improve it?
I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't have them dominate as much. I know they should be a dominating verse like they got, but they put on if they let them put on a classic with the Usos, which they should have. I think more people would be behind their run and stuff. Like that.
I hate to single out Rowan, but I freaking love Harper, and he should be a future world champion one day. Rowan, I'm not too sure. Like,
no. The only time he's good is when he's in a tag team.
Exactly. I don't think a singles run would work for him, and it didn't. Like, I remember the little singles run he had. It just didn't work. I didn't enjoy that. He's much better in a tag team. And I love this Bludgeon Brothers gimmick, but I see Luke Harper as a future world champion. And if they let him truly prove what he can do in the ring against the likes of New Day, Usos, I think it could be much more fans would enjoy it, that's for sure.
Most definitely.
So I think that's all the topics we have for you today. Anything else?
Oh yeah. No, I don't have nothing else. It's just, it's quite funny because I watched someone else, and I happened to look at my phone, and then he did like a thing about Bray Wyatt, and I was like, oh dang, Bray Wyatt. I just forgot about that. Like, I was like, I didn't really forget about it. It just like disappeared from my brain.
Yeah, it goes through your head, doesn't it, when you're trying to think of topics? I didn't even think of that until you brought it up. But that's all we have for you today, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you all for listening into the Town Nation podcast. If you haven't already and you're listening through YouTube, make sure to like the video and show your support. If you are still through YouTube, then make sure to subscribe to this channel and go to the Tyler Keller Show and subscribe to his channel. He does Fortnite, WWE Universe mode, all sorts of stuff. King of the Ring, he's doing a lot of that at the moment. So make sure to go and subscribe to him as well. If you're listening to this on Spreaker, whether you've downloaded it, we do appreciate it, or whether you are just listening through the website, thank you very much. Make sure to follow SLTD Wrestling on Spreaker, because that's where our podcast is uploaded, and make sure to give it a like as well, show your support. Share it around, whether you're listening on YouTube or Spreaker. Share it around on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Hell, if you've got MySpace, put it up on that. We don't care. Much like any social media. That's what we love to see. Our podcast getting shared around. I think the biggest one was the one where we talked about Mauro Ranallo, and he gave it a retweet, so that was good. So, share it around. Let your friends know that we do this podcast. It's a chilled out environment for me and Tyler. We absolutely adore doing this. It's one of our favourite times of week. And it's just, it gives us good time to chill out, talk about the stuff we love. So, thank you all for listening in, whether it's been on YouTube and Spreaker, and until next Tuesday, we'll catch you all in the next one.
See ya.